The wood in this tree was pulled almost entirely out of thin air. Walk into any forest, and you are surrounded by thousands of tons of solid wood. Trunks as wide as cars, branches reaching higher than houses, roots gripping deep into the earth. It feels obvious where all of that heavy material must have come from, the ground beneath it. For most of human history, that is exactly what people believed. A tree, they thought, simply ate the soil, drinking it up through its roots until it grew tall and heavy. It is one of the most reasonable ideas in the world, and it is almost completely wrong. The truth is far stranger. Most of a tree is built out of the air itself. This is the story of how the sky becomes wood and why every forest is, in a sense, frozen air. 400 years ago, a curious scientist decided to actually test where a tree's weight came from. His name was Jan Baptist van Helmont, and his experiment was beautifully simple. He took a small willow shoot weighing about 5 pounds and planted it in a large pot. Into that pot he had placed exactly 200 pounds of dry soil, carefully weighed before. Then he did the one thing most experiments lack the patience for. He waited for 5 long years. During all that time he gave the tree nothing but water and rain, never adding a single grain of new soil. When he finally lifted the willow out, it had transformed into a strong young tree. It now weighed over 160 pounds. It had gained more than a... So he dried out the soil and weighed it again, expecting it to have shrunk by a similar amount. But the soil weighed almost exactly what it had at the very start. Out of 200 pounds of earth, only about 2 ounces had gone missing. 2 ounces, a few spoonfuls. Yet the tree had gained over 150 pounds of solid wood. The mass had to come from somewhere, but clearly it had not come from the ground. Van Helmont guessed it must have come from the water he poured in, and he was partly right. But the real answer would not be fully understood for another 200 years. Most of that willow, most of every tree you have ever seen, had been assembled out of an invisible gas. The secret lives inside the leaves in a process we call photosynthesis. Every leaf is a vast, silent factory powered entirely by sunlight. On the underside of each leaf are millions of tiny mouths called stomata. Through them, the tree breathes in the air around it, and that air is full of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a simple gas. 1 atom of carbon bound to 2 atoms of oxygen. Inside the leaf, using the energy of sunlight, the tree pulls the gas apart. It keeps the carbon, the solid building block it needs, and releases the oxygen back into the sky. That oxygen, breathed out by countless leaves, is the very air that keeps us alive. The captured carbon is then joined with hydrogen and oxygen taken from water drawn up by the roots. Together they are woven into sugars, and from those sugars the tree builds everything it is. Cell by cell, ring by ring, the trunk thickens with wood spun out of gas and sunlight. So when you touch the bark of an old tree, you are really touching air that has been made solid. To see how powerful this is, consider what a tree is actually made of. Strip away the water inside it, and roughly half of the dry weight that remains is pure carbon. Every gram of that carbon was once floating, invisibly, in the atmosphere above. A single large tree can lock away many tons of carbon across its long lifetime. Now picture a giant sequoia, one of the heaviest living things on Earth. It can weigh well over 1,000 tons and stand taller than a 20-story building. Almost all of that staggering weight was quietly drawn, molecule by molecule, out of thin air. It did not dig its body up out of the ground. It condensed it slowly out of the sky. And it did so in near silence, over centuries without ever moving from the spot where it began. Multiply that by every tree in every forest, and the scale becomes almost impossible to grasp. Whole mountains of wood standing where there was once only empty, invisible air. This quiet trick does far more than build trees. It helps shape the entire planet. Forests are among the world's greatest storehouses of carbon, holding it safely inside living wood. As they grow, they pull carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and help keep the climate in balance. In return, they release the oxygen that fills our lungs with every single breath. But the process can run in reverse as well. When a tree burns or slowly rots away, the carbon locked inside it escapes back into the air. That is why protecting old forests matters so much. They are vast reservoirs of captured sky. Cut them down, and centuries of stored air can slip away in a matter of days. It is a beautiful, humbling idea that the forests around us are woven from the atmosphere itself. So the next time you stand beneath a great tree, remember what you are really looking at. Not something that crawled up out of the soil, but something that fell invisibly out of the sky. A silent tower of air and light, built one quiet breath at a time. Follow worth knowing for more things worth knowing.